I'm going to derail us at the beginning, just so you know.
Okay. I am your host, Adam Chamail.
And Adam, I'm pretty sure you've muted your audio.
That's right. And this is the Quack-12 Podcast, the most official, as you can tell by the muted audio part, unofficial Oregon Ducks podcast in the web footosphere.
But also the most official, unofficial.
It's the
what?
Out of all the unofficial ones, that's what I said in the first place. We won 3 games.
Adam, he's Adam Chamail. I'm Aaron Schroeder. We're going to get into it.
That is right.
See, I was going to try and derail us right off the beginning of the show because there was something I wanted to talk about, but you've derailed us, so now we should just get into it. Let's talk basketball. Let's forget I had a topic.
To get us even more off topic, we're both recording our local audios, too, so it's possible that the listener won't even hear me not say anything, but now I got to keep in some of my fuck up so they know the reference point of me fucking up. So we're here. This is actually a great introduction to the Quack-12. What's that?
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Feel free to start here.
Well, guess what, Aaron? We had to win 3 games, and we won 3 goddamn games, and they were beautiful. And I'm not gonna lie, I gave up. There was a stretch, multiple stretches, where I thought we were donezo. I thought we had zero chance. Sure. Oh, yeah. It was amazing.
Ditto. I had one major moment of doubt. Well, okay, look. I went into this Pac-12 tournament. We talked about it last week. We expected to lose to Arizona, and so that's where I was coming in at.
Yeah.
That's where I stayed the whole time, especially when Dante went down.
Oh.
And then I went, okay, that's it. This is it. That's how it is. Okay, bye-bye.
You end America. Yes, that is exactly how it went.
Wow.
When Dante, I mean, we can jump around here because, I mean, spoiler
jump
alert,
up, and jump down.
We got our ticket to the big dance. The big game was that Arizona game, and it was literally just after the minute mark. Our man Dante, literally the team, it's all on his back. Our man Dante, really no fault to Ballo, too. The fellow man from Mali.
No, he jumped up and went too high.
He juked
Big man
Dante.
went too high.
Yeah, he really pumped him, and then Dante was already in the air. Unfortunately, clipped his the side of his hip or a little below his hip. Tumbles over, lands. It looked like straight on his back, and
I kind of thought he landed on his hip a bit.
Yeah, well, it was hip,
but same difference. His butt, whatever.
I think he really landed on his tailbone because I believe Dana Ullman said that he did have a bruised tailbone.
Jeez.
But to show what Dante is willing to do for this team, because this is his last shot. I think he could have another year. I believe of eligibility if he really, really wanted to. I think they've just kind of shut that down, unless I'm wrong. I know he's not coming back next year. They keep saying this is your final season.
I mean,
I believe
it would make sense that he. I think he could handle. I don't know the NBA that well, but something tells me he'd do well on the Clippers.
Well, it's like he has the talent to right now be contributing to an NBA team in some fashion. Mm-hmm. It may not work out for him in the NBA. Like, he may not get drafted because of his injury history. Is really the only reason. But that doesn't mean he's not going to get paid in the future by a professional basketball team and make good money and not, be loved by that fan. It'll probably be overseas. Probably won't be the NBA, but you never know. But let's...
I wonder how many players end up going into team staff.
Quite a bit. I mean, yeah. Dante definitely is looking to play, looking to get paid right now.
Yeah.
But hold on.
Obviously,
so let's not muddy this greatest accomplishment by a basketball player by immediately capitalist being like, but when will he get more money? Because fuck the NBA. I'm talking about the greatest, the final Pac-12 most valuable player in the history of the Pac-12, which is now done.
That is interesting.
So this man, 1 minute in, gets injured, lands straight freaking on his back. He goes out, immediately gets an x-ray because his first thought is, I've had like 2 serious injuries to both legs, plus he's never finished a full season here. This is his 5th season.
Crazy.
He's never finished a full season here. We are the most injured team, like lost the most minutes out of all the top 75 by far. And so he immediately goes, gets an x-ray. And they check, and they're like, nothing's broken, Dante. So he immediately comes back out after that, gets on the bike, starts doing the bike. Then he goes back into the locker room. They shoot him with something for the pain. They give him just a shot.
Yeah.
In his goddamn back. He comes back out, 7 minutes left in the first half. That's like, and the thing that's been cool about this
Did he come back that quick?
Well, 7 minutes left in the first half. That's not that quick. He lost 12 minutes, And
I really thought it was longer, though. Yeah.
I mean, it felt like an eternity, my man. Because when he was gone, just our offense was done.
They were trying very hard. They were working hard and keeping it to 10.
That's exactly it, though, right? Like, in all these games, Colorado a little less so, but these first 2 games is when Dante was off the floor. That's when the other team could really do their damage, And we weren't looking good. Our offense outside of Dante has not been where we would want it. I'll just say that, especially like 3-point shooting. We've been pretty straight up bad. But our defense, this is the thing. Yeah. Our defense has been really freaking good.
I gotta say, it looked astounding in the Arizona game.
Yeah. And
it looked like trashy in the first game, first half. Mm-hmm. We haven't even talked about that game at all. We went straight to Dante injury because of me.
Yeah, let's start from the beginning here. Let's start.
Okay.
That UCLA game. The big story of this one was that, battle of the big men. This is the fun thing is like with a fully healthy Dante, knock, knock, knock. It really comes down to like, okay, this dude is goddamn 6'11". Yeah. And athletic as the most athletic dude on the court, like basically.
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do?
Well,
to stop
dude, he's doing
him?
double duty.
Yeah.
His job has become, I'm going to go to the 3-point line and I'm going to become a tree. And then as soon as I make a good block with my body as a tree, I'm going to immediately run underneath the goal to try and either grab the rebound or finish this thing off. Or assist them as they slowly walk it in because I will remain a tree.
Oh, exactly.
It's like they just got bing, bing.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's like,
it's crazy watching him work out there.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen, but it's like, okay, but how are you going to stop that?
Yeah, how are you going to stop it?
And so the other team, you're just going to look at their big man and then just kind of judge what's going to happen. With this, Adembona, who's very good, he only played like 17 minutes only scored 8 points because really quickly he was picking up fouls. And that's the amazing thing is like...
Oh, that's right. It happened so fast.
Mm-hmm. He picked up like 2 real quick.
Bang, bang, bang. Yeah.
Yeah, and then a third really quick in the second half. And compare that. That's the other game within the game, I think, from now on. Hopefully we have more than this next game coming up. But is the foul game, with
I hate it.
I understand.
I hate the foul game when there's under a minute left on the clock to play the game. Yeah. It's like, oh my okay. Maybe let's just change. If we're just going to play this game to where we end up going to the free throw line, let's just finish the game with every player gets to take a couple of free throws, and whoever makes the most is actually the winner of the game.
Yeah, like a Quidditch.
I hate it.
I get it.
So frustrating.
I get it.
Anyway, but go ahead. The foul game.
Well, and the other part of it is, that a player fouling out can be so frustrating.
Right.
Like for us, the danger is, if Dante fouls out, that's horrifying.
They do like to look at him a lot.
But the other thing is, if everything's going well and Dante doesn't have too many fouls to the point where he can play his complete offensive game, a lot of ways that they're going to try to stop Dante from scoring, probably fail, but try to stop him from scoring, is foul him. So it's a good way to get other teams in foul trouble, especially their bigs. I think that's what happened with the Dembona. And then once your big is out, Dante can really just goddamn feast.
Crazy.
which is basically what happened.
I guess there's a level of the quote-unquote foul game that has, mechanics of chess where you want to, strategically utilize them or try and strategically make them utilize theirs.
Exactly, yeah.
But still, I think we need to rearrange the foul system.
I get it.
Because there's also times where I don't get why if I'm like this, and then you
both
come
hands
in
the air.
hit, and then I'm like this. You come in and hit me to make the 2 points. I fall backwards. That's a foul on me. My bad.
No,
I shouldn't
agree.
have been planted like this.
I forget exactly what game this is. Probably Arizona. But it was maybe it was Colorado. Actually, I'm thinking about it. It is dude, Dante went straight up and down. What do you want him to do? Is everyone, and Dana Altman's been saying this nonstop, is how much abuse Dante has to take because any little guy, any dude who's 6'3" can basically do whatever they want to against Dante, and they're probably not going to call it because they're that didn't hurt that much, it's Dante.
Right.
Well, he's and it's there's a lot of that.
I don't get it. I don't get the rules.
Yeah.
I don't get the fouls for the most part. I only understand when you get to shoot and when you don't get to shoot. Otherwise, I don't know why they ever call them. They're pointless. Let them play. Let Dante slap a man.
He's definitely slapping some balls, baby. Dante, so this is his worst game. He played 33 minutes, scored 22 points.
UCLA.
6 rebounds. Yeah, this was his worst game, and it was a great game.
But he also had a really great rejection stuff from behind. They were running up to go for the layup. It was like a race down the court, and he comes up from behind and just slaps the living shit out of that ball.
And dude, that
almost
gets in your head.
Took out a cheerleader, I feel like. And you're like, geez, big guy.
Oh, I know, dude. It really does start to get into players' heads, and you can see it. The more these guards are going for the hoop and it's here's another easy layup. Just even when he's not there, him just living in your head being is Dante about to slap the shit out of this ball? It's so fun. And then you got to give credit to any player off the bench that gives us any production. Because obviously we're going to live and die with Shellstad, Kuznard, Dante. Those are our 3 main scorers. Me personally, I would love for Jadrian Tracy. He's a key player, obviously starter. I want him to either pass it, even if he's taking it to the hoop. I then want him to look out and pass it out, or to be the guy that they do pass it out for, like, on the wing, a deep three, like an open three. That's what his role is, I would prefer anyways. Though he does make clutch plays, so what do I know?
He sticks out of the pack. At least in these games, he definitely stuck out to me where I was like, oh shit. There's a magic there, but it doesn't feel completely tapped yet. And I don't know what it is. But it's like, okay, this dude does have it. It is there. What is it?
No, I agree. It's definitely the kind of feeling of, like, if he was coming off the bench, this would be one of your favorite players on the team, because you'd be like,
right.
Oh, it's the guy off the bench that every once in a while hits a three.
Oh my God. You nailed it. That's exactly it.
He's a starter, and so you're looking at him a little more closely. He wouldn't be a starter if we had our full healthy roster. But yeah,
hey,
so
Biddle was out though. He made it out.
He was there. It was really nice.
Yeah, he hung out with the team, looking a little pale, but I'm glad to see that he's able to rally up the energy.
To be fair, he's from Central Point. That's just his look, my man.
Is it bleak? Are they? Is that like Forks?
Southern Oregon, maybe. Yeah. So we beat UCLA, and that honestly. So leaving this game, I was like, okay, it's cool that we didn't lose the first game. This was like so many of our other games where it's like super close, maybe closer than it needed to be. We almost blew it. Like, it felt like, good job. We didn't embarrass ourselves. But the next game, we are fucked. That's honestly how I felt going into it.
Yes. That was it. You nailed it.
I mean, we lost to them twice. Earlier in the season, we lost to them by like 30 points.
One of them was bad. One of them was bad. It hurt. One of them
was the anomaly loss, where all the other losses at most were losing by like 10 or 12, and it was probably close, but then it got away from us, or we lose by like 6 points or something. Like all the losses were pretty close, except for that one where they just kicked our freaking teeth in.
Yeah. Yes.
That felt also
that one lasts.
Yeah, that one you remember. Like your first kiss, But
yep.
Also, this is like they have a saying for Pac-12 Vegas, like in this tournament, like this is McHale Center North. Like this is, or McHale North, I believe they call, as in Arizona fans, because of the proximity and because they're rabid, basketball fans.
I didn't even put that together. I kept thinking why there was. I was like, damn, Arizona showed up.
Well, because they were on paper. Yeah, right next door, but also on paper, they're like, this is our best team we've had in a while. If we win the tournament, we'll be a number 1 seed.
Damn, I am so sorry, Arizona.
Oh, yeah. Like,
to all the fans out there, I am so sorry. We didn't think we should have won it. We don't know why we won it. Arizona, maybe we should be looking at your boy Love. He didn't show up very much, and I'm like,
that's because,
what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, I guess.
Well, not the Arizona fans, because after this game, they got the fuck out of Vegas, I'll tell you that. They were like Nick Cage leaving Las Vegas, even though I think that movie's about someone who doesn't leave Las Vegas. So in this game, like, obviously shooting-wise, the Arizona, I mean, we had the big Dante scare. And the reason why we won this game is just because we were able to, like, keep composure while the team, which is Dante, was, making sure he was healthy enough. We didn't let the lead, like, it was like a 10-point, like, us trailing by, like, a deficit by, like, 12-10. Not 20, not 25. And that was the big difference. We were able to rally back because of that. And that's because, like, Jackson Shellstad was playing, like, mean defense. Like, they were shutting players down like Love. Kuznard was also, like, Kuznard got 20 points in this game. Shellstad got 21. Dante got 14, which is crazy. You would think he got, like, even more than that. He only played 27 minutes. 5 of 7 shooting from the floor, though. We shot 7 3-pointers. That first half, we were playing ugly. Like, that first half, we couldn't hit anything.
Yeah.
And then started to hit the threes. Yeah, I mean, right? Like, it felt like...
It was gross.
It was one of the only games... I mean, the only other game was the Arizona game before this, where I really wanted to turn it off at the half. Because I was like, there's just...
Oh, wow.
We can't win without Dante. And it's too sad to watch. I didn't.
Yeah. I felt... I don't know. I mean, I didn't expect to win the whole time, so I was fine watching it. I was like, I just want to watch them lose respectfully.
Yeah, that's all. I was there.
I just don't want it to be a burnout. I don't want to see these kids deflated like that.
Couisnard has a quote about when after Dante was out and stuff. We had to keep believing. We know it's going to come down to a close game, and it absolutely did. I love that. The other thing is Altman, more than a lot of his past teams, has completely he gives his team calls the timeouts when they want to.
They do.
He's not orchestrating absolutely everything. I think it's become clear. He's like, I want the seniors, specifically Couisnard and Dante, to lead this team, do their thing. We have the system in place. I'm not going to stand in the way. It's all them. And I think it's clearly worked out really freaking well. I
mean, yeah, especially, God, the Arizona game really did just have so much, didn't it? Yeah, there was so many different times where I was like, oh,
really
shit.
Pulled away.
I didn't even realize that's how he was letting them play the game until the Arizona game. And I'm like, damn, they just get to call timeouts like it's nothing. They're just using them up for him.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's I get it. They're being double teamed and they're stuck in a corner. You want to call timeout on that so you can fucking reassess.
And we should say this was not just this was a close game. But at one point, Oregon looked like they were going to freaking run away with this because we had a 61-48 lead. And that my mind was being blown. But they started chipping away.
Yeah, I want to give big props. I actually really loved the announcers, the duo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they even brought this up where they were like, I forget, it was maybe 4 minutes left in the game. If not a little bit more. But they made a note of Oregon has already switched into protect the ball mode because we were up by 11. And he's like, I don't know if that's the best idea right now. You kind of want to just keep playing like you've been playing because you don't want a team like Arizona to be able to chip because they will.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was really fun. All aspects of that game were really fun.
I thought so, except for when Dante got injured. But
it adds to the story.
It did add to his
great return.
It made it. It was so shocking that when he came back in, and again, it's that Altman freaking ball, dude. Because we held them to their lowest point score of the entire season. 59 points. We held them to under 60 points. I was thinking about you. I was thinking about you when we got to 67 points. I was hoping we were getting to 69.
What I did think was really kind of interesting and possibly problematic is that I did not expect any of these games. I didn't get to watch the national championship, so I don't actually know off the top of my head what the final score was.
Pac-12 championship.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know what the final score was on that, but I was just stunned at how low scoring both of the first two games were, where I'm like, it's kind of boring that this is how... But it's it's not like the action is any less. It's just they're not going in. They're going bonk. And then there was one shot, I forget who it was that took it, but it was just such a massive air ball in a stretch of terrible minutes for us.
We have those
and
sometimes,
the announcer literally is just like, "Oh, and with a terrible shot."
I remember
like,
I remember there's been a couple of times, and I think this is going to be our style for a while, especially since we only have 8 players. Like, we have such a small playable team right now. That we're really going to play a style of basketball where it's like, we're going to get the rebound, the defensive rebound, hopefully force you to miss your shot because we're playing solid defense. And then, because we were in trouble in some of these games when we would try to score quickly and force a bad shot with 15 seconds left on the shot clock, And I think it's clear, especially in the Colorado game, that Dana Altman was telling them, take your time. Literally, let the clock just run a bit more. Set up your shot. Probably pass it to Dante. In question, probably pass it to the dude that's near 7 foot, standing next to the hoop.
Yeah.
That's going to be a sure thing. Yeah. And then, score the easy 2, take your time, let the clock wind down, and then set them, and then be like, okay, try to match us, and then just let the cycle repeat. And that is literally it.
The
First
thing
to 69,
that
baby. First to 69.
Yeah.
Altman
the thing
ball.
that I really loved seeing, it felt like there was a lot more of it happening. Or maybe my eye is just drawn to it more now because of Altman saying that he was, probably practicing them too soft.
Yeah.
There was a lot more aggressive behavior underneath the goal, and it felt like we were doing a good job of getting a lot of offensive rebounds, like Kuznard getting underneath the bucket, going up, missing, getting it right back, trying one more time, not getting it right back. It was a lot of, it felt like they're like, okay, we can do some get in the face shit now, maybe.
Yeah, well, and
because they kind of gotta.
Oh, and I think the Colorado game, and Colorado upset Wazoo, or not upset, but it was very close.
Took him to task.
Perfect. And this game was a close one. It was a battle. And you wouldn't, if I told you in the championship game that we went 2 of 17 from 3, you probably would have assumed we lost this game.
That's right. You would. You absolutely would.
This game is very fun to look at because
okay,
I can
take
list
me through it.
I can list a bunch of stats that you would assume, Colorado won the game. But it also tells the story of why we won. Because
wow, okay.
First of all, the biggest stat, who got to 69 first? Oregon did. We won 75 to, if we keep them below 69, we win, right?
Right.
75 to 68. It's
Bang.
an amazing formula, dude. I
It
can't
really
believe
is. Just get to it.
How often this is. It's like if they score more than 69, we're going to lose. Yeah. I think there's only been one game where that isn't true. It's amazing.
I mean,
but okay, here are the stats that
ahead.
really matter here. So field goal percentage, it was pretty close. We actually had the advantage there. We got 45%. They had 41%. From 3-point range, they were 7 of 22. We were 2 of 17. From free throw, they were much better. They were 21 of 23. We were 17 of 24. Still kind of a weak part for us. Rebounds, they out-rebounded us 34 to 31. And then so you would assume just with that, they were shooting better, but and they out-rebounded us technically. What it really came down to, though, is we were way more efficient. They had 13 turnovers. We forced the 13 turnovers.
Wow.
And it really felt like that in this game. Because, again, there were stretches where because we weren't hitting the three, we were forcing shots really quickly instead of passing it to Dante, which every Duck fan was just the whole game being like, why aren't we passing it to Dante? Why aren't we passing it to Dante? Like, literally, he hasn't missed a shot.
But you give it to him too much, they're going to start focusing the double coverage on him, and then he will be missing more shots.
Is like later in this game, they were doubling him. Absolutely, they were doubling him.
Okay.
And what would he do? He'd fucking dunk it over two dudes. Like,
oh, okay. Okay.
Sometimes,
well, that's also good.
Sometimes if it's like a guy like you and I trying to stop Dante, there's just absolutely nothing that's going to happen. There's just nothing that you can possibly do.
Right.
And Dante, like I'm telling you, was literally perfect. He was 12 of 12 from the floor, had 9 rebounds, had an awesome dunk. This was like some of the best kind of low-key shit talking too in this game, where he does a game-breaking dunk near the end of the game, just a boosh, and then does a really funny thing where he walks away from the hoop with an expression as if he just blew up a friend's bathroom and then walks out of their bathroom and just looks like, oh, who took that nasty shit? Like, it was the funniest stanky face I've ever, just like, that's who did that? That's really bad. It was the funniest shit. And then also later in the game, like, it's still a game, but like, basically Oregon's got it in hand. He has fully got his ear to the crowd, playing like professional wrestler, just rallying the Duck crowd. Just clearly.
Which, by the way, when they showed the section, the little small Oregon Duck section in a sea of Arizona fans, it was like, goddamn, bless you, bless you all. Yeah. But, is there any kind of regulations about that? Because, like, when he would do his little dance after he made one,
they let you get away.
Is there taunting stuff like in football?
It's, they'll let you get away with a lot as long as it's not geared specifically towards someone.
Don't do it at the person.
Like a shimmy or a dance, they'll typically, if you stand over somebody, they're going to call, hopefully they're going to call that. And then there's also a couple more great Dante moments very late where it was like, because, even late on when it was in desperation mode, it was still like a 6-point game. Like, it's still very plausible, like under a minute, but like a 6-point game. Colorado had the ball. They were starting to heat up too, from 3 specifically. And like KJ Simpson and Da Silva, they were, it was possible. But Simpson, like, early on, goes for a pass, like, near, like, or I think was going for a 3 even. Dante swats that shit, like, goddamn crazy. Just a huge, like, you didn't think Dante could do any more in this game. And then he blocks the last chance they had. It goes near half court. He then beats his man to the ball. And because he has just limbs the size of Godzilla, he also keeps the ball in play, and it was just like, you couldn't ask more from a dude. And then in the final seconds of this game, it was just to show he's not an asshole actor. Like, he likes taunting, not taunting, but he likes getting the crowd into it. He likes doing a little shimmy dance after he does a big play, but he isn't an asshole because the last, 6 seconds of this game, he has the ball in his hand. He is under the hoop. He could have done a celebratory dunk in the last second, which is kind of an asshole move. Like, no one would have been that pissed, but
they weren't ahead by that much, and they're the mega underdogs in the whole situation.
Yeah, and it's Dante. No one would have blamed him, but instead
he's charismatic.
He's charismatic. He decided to dribble it out the last second, and then after the official bell goes off, then he does a celebratory dunk. It just showed you what kind of man Dante is. It was an amazing
just out there having
game.
a good time.
Hell yeah. And even though our 3-point shooters had a terrible fucking game this game, truly abysmal.
Well,
even though that happened, they found not season because there were times when we didn't have Dante, where we were just a small team. Where we were just shooting the free ball like crazy. That's why I'm
doesn't
excited.
that feel like a lifetime ago already?
Yeah. Absolutely. That's why I'm excited, though, Aaron, is because, like, in this game against a quality team, a team that is a tournament team, because Colorado made it as well, we shot 2 of 17 from 3 and still won. And we didn't shoot well the other 2 games and still won because Kuznard and Shellstad are finding other ways, whether it's defensively or just playing, like taking it to the hoop, to make differences, to win. Yeah.
Kudos to Kuznard.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching him play the games so much. He really stepped up and he did.
Absolutely.
I mean, everybody is really just stepping up in a big way, which scares me because it makes me want to be hopeful. But at the same time, I have to remember what they actually do most of the time.
Well, dude, I mean, and now let's get into it. So we were in the dance. We punched our ticket.
I can't believe it. Every statistical odd that had to happen to get us in actually happened.
And what's even
there was
better,
never a point where we've somehow switched back out of the worst timeline to maybe a better timeline.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. The worst timeline would be if we would have had to cover women's basketball NIT. I'm going to pepper in. This is the only bit of Oregon women's basketball I'm peppering in. It's barely.
Sure.
Well, there's 2 things. First of all, Sabrina Ionescu got
hitched.
Got hitched. You saw it. That's right. To a former Oregon football player.
That's right.
Is very cool.
And his name is very similar to hers, to where I was like, it's going to be Sabrina Ionescu. It's like Sabrina Ionescu.
I mean, I would take her last name. Hronis Grasu.
Yeah, it's because they both end with Sue. It's like, what?
Oh, that's true. And the Oregon Duck was there, which
the
is very
Sues.
Cool. And Marcus Mariota was there as well. Saw some pictures. So that was very cool. That's the happy news of Oregon women's basketball.
Okay, good for them.
And this is also happy news, in my opinion, is that apparently, because these other tournaments that aren't March Madness are like, who gives a shit? The WNIT, because I believe there are 7 Pac-12 women's basketball teams in the tournament, which is bonkers, amazing. Oregon obviously is not. And they offered Arizona State, who's 11th in the Pac-12, to be in the WNIT, even though they've had a bad year. They declined, reportedly. So then they're like, all right, Oregon, do you want to go? And literally Oregon was like, no, we're good.
Yeah.
And I love that because that means we don't have to watch any more of that team play this year.
They need to go.
They don't deserve it.
They need to take a shower, take a spa day.
They need to wash that season off.
Yeah, they need to wash it off, get the head back in. I struggle to see other schools. I don't know. I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised at how many of our players stay.
Oh, that'd be nice. I'm hoping.
Oh, but speaking of celebrity status shit,
what's that?
Did you catch a peek of Phil Knight in the?
Oh yeah.
Is that his wife and his son?
I think it's his wife and his son, and I think that his son is the guy who produced Coraline.
So all I can tell you is that I don't know what's up with that family, but they're the most Oregon-looking family ever.
That's so true, dude. That's so true.
His wife was so rock and roll that I was like, fuck yeah. These are the people I party with right here. These people get crazy.
Yeah, no, that's just... Yeah, that's Penny. That's right. I forgot her name.
Oh, she's so badass, dude. That jacket she had on, I was like, damn.
I honestly hope just for that for the Colorado and Arizona performance, I hope Phil Knight was literally like, "Hey Dante, here's $1 million. Add another story to your mom's house."
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. He was able to buy his mom a house.
Yeah. No, he's a legit great guy. Like, he's just a great human being, and he's funny as fuck. I love him.
It's interesting the kind of morality you are raised with when you're not born in America. Anyway.
Yeah, well, you're not very patriotic, Aaron. That's all I'll say. Now, so it's amazing. I can't believe we made it. Altman, too. I have never seen Dana Altman so just... First of all, I mean, because we were watching those clips of him entering this tournament. I'm used to him being like, we need to be harder. Like, we need to practice harder, calling out people. Like, he's usually a hard ass.
I mean,
like,
he was
100%. He loves his team.
From halftime Colorado to the ending of Arizona, everything that I saw, the man totally, you could see the metamorphosis of joy.
Yeah.
But he was literally like, that Colorado halftime, it was like, defense was trash. It was just abysmal. We looked ridiculous. It's like, it's just funny too, because I've never heard him talk at length. And so it finally made me realize, like, oh,
it's
now
rare.
I see when you do an impression of him, now I hear where you're going with it. It makes a lot more sense. Yeah.
Well, and he was cracking me up, man. Like, because him and Dante, obviously, like Dante said, like, the years he could have transferred, because I'm sure other teams wanted to have him, even with his injury stuff. Probably offered him some pretty good deals too. He said he wanted to stay at Oregon because he appreciates loyalty, and we were loyal to him when he was injured, so he wanted to stick around. Him and Altman clearly very close. And, like, even I was watching this interview where, like, it was him and Dante, and, like, there's the three talking heads for the Pac-12 network, and Altman was, like, again, I've never seen this side of Altman. Just smiling, having a great time. And he was just like, I was watching last night. All three of you chose against us. And one of the commentators was like, oh, well, not me. And he's like, no. I watched last night. All three of you chose. And he's like, did you hear that, Dante? They chose against us. And Dante's just like shaking his head. Like, it was a blast. I loved all the congratulatory stuff. But hey, man.
Dude. They could go out in the first round, and I don't give a shit, because guess
exactly where
who
I'm at.
Closed out the Pac-12 champions?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've just, and like, again, dude, like, football's my favorite sport, but my favorite sporting event in this world is March Madness. And all I said this year was, I just want to be in the tournament. That's all I care about. And we got. Dude, we almost were sitting here covering 2 NITs.
Yes,
I know I said I wasn't, but I was gonna cover them. I
was gonna suggest that we should.
Yeah, it was gonna be terrible. I was gonna hate every minute of it, but I was gonna do it.
Yeah, I do think I'll talk to you off air, but I have another show idea.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Here it is. I'll just tell the audience, and then on Twitter you can tell us if you want to hear this show or not. This episode. But the idea is I want to do an episode where we just go through the Pac-12's biggest moments. Just a big roundup of here's some fun, crazy things that happened inside the Pac-12.
Certainly a great off-season idea. Great off-season idea.
Exactly.
Hopefully that off-season doesn't come for a while, because we in the big dance. Aaron, have we ever covered
South Carolina?
Team when the men's team have made the big dance? Have we ever been a podcast when this happened?
Hasn't
we got close with Pritchard, because this is where I'm thinking. I believe
we were supposed to go for sure. COVID shut it down.
Yeah, we started this podcast.
I thought we went before that.
Yeah. Huh.
We
I think
always do
just
a bracket,
missed-
and I always choose us to win the whole thing. So
Oh, we
that
definitely
means,
have.
So we've
What
been
am
in
I
it.
thinking?
Yeah,
what am
I was about to
thinking?
say, we've been in it
that
a lot.
really fun Chris Duarte team that made that year where all the Pac-12 teams were just of course.
Yeah,
What am I
that
thinking?
name I do not remember.
Yeah, of course. I think this team is really fun because it's like you got like the storylines do write themselves. Where it's like Peyton, Jackson Shellstad is the Peyton Pritchard prototype. Like you got someone who wants to be.
I hate
Peyton
that
Pritchard.
connotation, but sure.
You know what I mean? Well, he looks him up. He looks up to him. He actually knew the guy. You know.
Yeah.
You got like Jermaine Couisnard, who was our like, real strong guard, like leader clearly, and then you got
Clearly.
heart and soul of the team in Folly Dante. It's you got a team that you can really like paint storylines on,
And
we got like the way we're gonna win.
I did.
What's that?
What was his name again? Is it Kelly?
Jadrian Tracy, is that you're talking
Tracy,
about?
thank you.
Yeah.
He's more of like a Tasmanian devil type, isn't
Oh,
he?
yeah.
He's maybe a little chaotic out there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, you know
beautiful.
who's true?
He's our
true
wild
chaos?
card.
No.
who?
Brennan Rigsby
Brother.
is the true. We're hoping Jadrian Tracy is the glue that keeps us together. Brendan Rigsby, like literally. There's games where he looks unstoppable, and then there's games where it's just like, this motherfucker can hit a jumper, or like,
but
does
that's
one
fine
good
because
thing.
it's fine because he's a Charlie Day. He's an absolute wild card. He's out there to cause mayhem.
You need a wild card, and he is absolutely the white wild card, man. I'm telling you. But he could be the reason, like this.
He could take it home.
I'm not joking. He really could. Like, if Shellstad, Couisnard, Dante, I'm knocking on wood like crazy, all stay healthy and all play like they, like their typical level is, then that, and if we can get someone that isn't those three to really step up and not even play like completely like, who is this? We haven't seen this player before, like play like this level, but just play a little above average. This team could be a team that surprises a lot of people. And again, like Voss, we got to get Voss on because we should have had him on for this. Yeah, we got to talk basketball with Voss. But this is the kind of team. This is the thing where it's like, it doesn't measure who the best team is. It measures who the last team is. And all I know is whoever beats us, it's true, man. It's random every week. It's just who survives. And guess what we have that no other team has in this
Multiple
tournament?
days off.
Multiple days off would be nice, yeah. But motherfucking Dante, man. It's literally it is the real X factor here.
Well, this
what
is
are
what
you
I'm
going to do to stop Dante?
Well, this is what I'm curious to find out is what do these other teams have that are also here? Because when you're talking about elite level, he's maybe knocking on that door. Would you say he's elite level?
Oh, especially if we're talking, like, again, let's take the NBA out of our mind. He is NBA caliber right now, absolutely.
Okay.
He is elite level. He is absolutely
my
a
fear,
star, yeah.
My fear is what I presume is that every team we're going to be meeting through this situation is going to have two of those.
Aaron.
And I'm like,
you would be wrong. This is the thing.
What?
This is
a bad year for the NBA, huh? Nobody drafted.
Well, NBA, everyone, yes, has a 7-footer and where everyone's good. But in college basketball, there are many different types, and there are many different, like someone of Dante's caliber is a rare thing to be that athletic and to be that
and
tall.
that big. Yes.
And yeah,
as shown off by the UCLA player who was wicked tall, but very gangly. And it's like, oh, wow, the marked difference in the way Dante is able to move versus how this dude is able to move.
Oh yeah,
very drastic.
And he's a veteran. It really does come into play because he knows how to avoid the fouls, how to get other people to avoid the fouls. He isn't the kind of player that's just like give him the ball immediately he goes to hoop. A lot of times he'll wait a second, pick up a foul. Like he's been around. Like this is why I'm so excited. And like take for example the first team we're about to play. Okay. South Carolina.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Don't know shits about them.
South Carolina Gamecocks. Now, we have never played this team in football or basketball.
Makes sense.
Basketball.
Because I've never heard of I saw the name and I was like, never heard of this school.
They're from the SEC. They did pretty well in the SEC this year. Okay. Though they did lose their tournament pretty quickly. Alabama had their number twice this season, or multiple times this season, I believe at least. Beat them like by 30 points twice this year. And we actually played Alabama this year. Really early on, it was right when Biddle got injured too. So we were down our big men, and we were all of a sudden forced to play with only small ball. It was that part of the year.
Right.
What a crazy season we've had. And we only lost by like 8 points. I remember it was a point where I was like, well, we lost both games this weekend, but it's kind of promising that these were competitive games considering both
what
our
is
big
going
men
on.
Like, we didn't have Dante, and we almost beat Bama. Meanwhile, Bama beat this team by 30 points. Very recent. That doesn't. Transitive wins and transitive scores don't mean that much at all, but
they could.
It could. It honestly sometimes does. This team
and probably actually does. So let's just say it's fact. Transitive property in this situation is fact.
We're gonna beat them by about 23 points.
Yeah,
no,
should have presumed.
So they are led by by guards mainly, I should say. Michi Johnson, who's scoring 14.1 points per game. B.J. Mack, 13 points per game. Talon Cooper, probably. I don't know, we'll figure it out. 9.8 points per game.
What is their 3-point threat?
All three of those guys. Like or mainly, I believe, Johnson and Mack.
Okay.
So this is a team that wants to hit the three. They are playing smaller ball, certainly. Though they are like beefy, smaller guys. Like you can't just push them around. These aren't all stuff.
Well, the Gamecocks, baby. They may be small, but they're tough.
Exactly. That's what they're going for. They're not scoring they're not a team they're not like an Arizona that's looking to get triple digits. They are scoring more around 80, 75, which our game, all we care about is can we keep them to under 69. That's all we give a shit about. And it looks like we can, because that's about where they're scoring a lot of the time. They have I'm literally, for a lot of these games, I'm looking at your roster. I'm looking do you have anyone who is 7 feet tall? That's literally all I care about. I look up the one guy. They've got one guy. I believe his name is Josh Gray or Gray.
Okay.
He's about 7 foot tall, and I'm like, okay. Let's look up how many minutes he's getting. He's barely getting any minutes. He's barely scoring at all.
Interesting.
Dante's gonna absolutely. That is all I care about. Is like if Dante's healthy, what are you gonna do against him? Because that's our team. That's all we're gonna do. Like we may literally just pass it to Dante every single time, and then eventually we'll have open threes, and we are a better 3-point shooting team than people think going into this. Because, like, Shellstad and Kuznard, they've had off nights, but they've also had amazing nights. And the thing that I love about this team is even when we're shooting the three bad, we still attempt the shot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because if you get afraid of it and you abandon that part of the game, then people can really focus on Dante.
Exactly.
And if we're hitting the three and Dante is fully playing his minutes, we may be a really thin team, but like, we're not lacking talent. We're
I think
truly.
if we can get Rigsby alone in the corner,
Exactly.
that kid could drain threes for us all night long.
That's the goal. Like if Tracy and or Rigsby started to like, oh yeah, their 3-point game's really stepping up. Then,
and if one of them lights up, it's just going to make everybody else on the court because they're going to be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
You know, when Rigsby was like flying through the air to dunk, it was lighting that team on fire.
Or just like scratching away balls to get steal. Like an insane man. It was so bonkers. I love Rigsby. Like there's been times where it's just like Rigsby's making the absolute highlight of the game.
Yeah.
And then there's more times where he's making the low light of the game. Unfortunately,
that's what you got to do, man. Look, every opportunity is an opportunity. You have to take them, and that's what he does.
So like, I think we match up well. Like, we could absolutely lose to South Carolina. We could be embarrassed by South Carolina. Like, all of our wins are always close, so that doesn't really bode well for us just pushing over anyone. But especially a team that made the tournament. But this is the kind of team where it's like, if they're going to beat us, it's because they're shooting very well from three, and it's opening things up for them. Our defense travels. And like defensively, we've always been a good defensive team this season. And I think that's what's going to keep us a competitive game. And then if Dante goes off and we can hit the three, I think we're getting into the next round. And knock on wood. But then what happens there, which was interesting, it's either Drake, not the rapper, Drake, which I can't even tell you anything about Drake. Who knows? But after Drake, they probably don't have anyone that can answer Dante. I can tell you that. But after Drake, what makes this interesting is Dana Altman's former team, which he really had a whole other great career there before he came to Oregon. Like, he's basically like a lifelong kind of coach guy. Creighton, we would likely face off against Creighton, his old team.
I never even heard of them.
They are a team that they're like a regular little darling in the tournament. Like, they regularly make it. They've made the Elite Eight a couple of times.
Wow.
And such. I'm probably selling them short, but so they are a quality team that is technically from a smaller school, but
sure.
But it should be a good battle.
Hey man, they can dance. That's all that matters.
See. And we're in the same side of the bracket as Gonzaga,
which means we wouldn't have to worry about them
because easy win. No. We would. We'd have to worry about them sooner.
I don't want to have to play against them. I thought they were great.
Oh yeah, I mean they're less great this season. I'll tell you that. I like our chances against Gonzaga. We'll have to have our lawyer on.
I was about to bring him up to see what his feelings were.
He said, "I'll be on the podcast anywhere, anytime." As long as it's not Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. He is a lawyer, so makes sense. Aaron,
but
I
mean, is he? I don't want to call anything out, but I'd like to see his LSAT scores. I'd like to see his LSAT. I'd like to see
You want
that.
Some credentials. I get it. Yeah. I get it. Aaron, so the Ducks are in tournament. Colorado made the tournament, though they're in a play-in game. They have to beat. They're one of those 4 teams that have to play a game to get in. The first 4, yeah. They have to beat Boise State. So Oregon's
How embarrassing.
Yeah. He shouldn't have lost to us. Oregon's
I know.
In. Colorado's in. Arizona is obviously in. They're a 2 seed. They would have been a 1 seed if they weren't embarrassed by the Ducks. And then last but not least, Wazoo is in. So that is 4 teams, 4 Pac-12 teams in. I'm rooting for them.
I got to tell you.
You better fill out your bracket.
I will.
Because that is right.
Got to get it in by Thursday. I, for whatever reason, just assumed because we won the Pac-12 tournament, we were the only team getting to go. I literally in my brain was thinking it's just the champions of all the different tournaments that go to March Madness. That's why we went.
I think you'll agree with me here, though. It's one of the reasons why we won this, and you can see it on the court if you rewatch these games. Is like Wazoo, Colorado, like both those teams got really far, and Colorado made it to the Pac-12 Tourney championship game, and Arizona was the favorite,
right?
But those three teams, basically, as long as they didn't completely embarrass themselves, but even if they did, like Arizona could have lost the first game, and still all
gone.
of them would have made it because their regular season was good enough. Like Colorado, Wazoo, they needed to win at least one game probably, but they both did, and everyone was saying they're likely in. Everyone knew Oregon had to win all three games. There was no
right.
Even
if they
won two, they probably wouldn't have made it. Like
right.
Just making the championship game, we would have been holding our breath to see if they let us in, and they probably wouldn't have. Oregon played like a team that was like, this is it. Like if Dante's career will end tonight as an Oregon Duck, and let's admit it, it would be disappointment for his whole career. Like everything was relying on winning the game that night, each and every night, and you could tell the Ducks played with that mentality, and it absolutely helped them out. And they got to bottle that up for the tournament. Like, it's kind of interesting where it's like, it only hurts us that we just feel like we won the Super Bowl.
Right. Exactly, dude. Well, let me ask you this. Where does the tournament take place?
I believe, dude, that's such... I mean, it obviously takes place different parts of the country.
Oh, they don't all go to one... It's not like in Vegas where there's like 1 billion arenas for all the games that happen at once?
There's so many teams that play, obviously, like 68 teams, that in like some of them they want to reward by like, you're the overall number 1 seed, so we're gonna put you as close as possible to your home state. Got you. And then if you're bad, they're gonna be like, we're gonna send you anywhere. We are playing in Pittsburgh. We're going all the way to Pittsburgh for our region, which is not great, but kind of like, who cares? Like, South Carolina will probably have an advantage there, but you know what? Arizona had an advantage. Let's fucking go, man. Yeah. I mean, it was an amazing memory. Like, regardless of what happens, even if we lose against the Gamecocks, an amazing end.
We just won the Super Bowl. Who cares?
We just won the Super Bowl, dude.
That was like
money, baby.
Yeah, that was a tough. It was a tough season that seemed. I don't know what it seemed like, but it didn't seem like a Pac-12 championship.
No. Yeah, it's amazing.
So I'm stoked.
It was so fun.
Everything's butter.
Everybody, you can go over to our Twitter account at Quack-12 Podcast, or you can find us on the official ESPN.com/bracket tournament challenge.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. The ESPN tournament challenge. I'm mainly promoting the men's because that's the only one where we have a team that's actually playing, but we did make a women's. And that's all that matters on this podcast, because this is a podcast.
You got to get to the tournament.
For the bros, by the bros. No, I'm joking. But we did make one for the women's, too.
Okay.
What, you don't got to enter that one, because no duck.
Because we're not in it.
Fight. But for the men's tournament, look it up. I believe it's just, Quack-12 Tourney is what I have it under. Quack-12 Tourney. There's already plenty of people. We'll have a prize. We'll send you out. Be sure to contact us if you win, though.
I have a feeling I already know who's going to win it, too.
Yours truly.
Nope. But somebody not too far away from your exact vicinity.
My girlfriend's
Maybe.
gonna repeat. You think or she's not? She got close. She was like second.
She got
place.
close. Yeah.
She won the women's. I think I forget. Whatever.
Anyway.
Adam Fofatum is in there. I can tell you that because that's the name of my bracket. Quack-12 Tourney. You can find that on our Twitter account, on our Facebook page. We'll link these. You gotta join it. Aaron will have an entry, of course. I'm excited. I could not be more excited. We got basketball this Thursday. It's crazy how quick it happens. In Dante we trust. In Dana Altman we trust.
For sure.
For now. Otherwise we'll fire Altman. No. Yeah, brother. Any wise words to take us off?
Nope.